I am obsessed with tracking my health data. I'm talking heart rate, sleep cycles, calories, steps, everything. Or at least I used to be. I actually made a video not too long ago where I talked about how keeping on top of all that tracking was actually just really causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, and how I wasn't even doing anything with all that data. So I decided to give up all my wearables, all my tracking apps, just go cold turkey, live like humans were living for millennia before the Fitbit came out. As you can see, I'm still tracker free today, except I'm clearly wearing an Apple Watch. So actually, what happened? Let me explain. Now, I really did go tracker free for almost 9 months, and I actually really loved it. I woke up every morning and I put on my $10 Casio digital watch and just went about my day, not worrying about which health metric was performing above or below average that day. But actually, what I realized is there are lots of great things that smartwatches, Apple Watches, can do. They don't need to be sources of stress and anxiety. They can be tools that make your life better. So what I set about doing was the process of dumbing down my smartwatch. I wanted to have just the features on this thing that were going to make my days better, and none of the features that were causing me hassle or stress. I wanted to share some of these ideas with you today in the hopes that it can make your life better too. There are things the Apple Watch does that are really great. It can be really convenient to have Siri on your wrist for really complicated requests, or just something as simple as, "Hey Siri, start a 5-minute timer."
5 minutes, starting now.
And yeah, sometimes it is nice to feel like you can set your phone aside, but know that you still have access to some essentials. And when you do set your phone aside and you can't find it, there's of course the classic that helps you find it. I do that several times a day, and I'm not sure how I made it 9 months without it, to be honest. I also really do like tracking health data when I am exercising. When I'm out for a run, I love knowing what my heart rate is, what my pace is, how far I've gone. But when my Apple Watch was just rattling around in a drawer uncharged, I wasn't able to use it in that way all that conveniently. So I have 5 tips that I'm going to share that are going to let you reclaim your relationship with your smartwatch and not feel like you're at its beck and call quite so much. Dumbing down tip number 1. First of all, I want to show you what my watch face looked like back in my heyday when I was tracking everything 24/7. It is so jam-packed. I felt like I needed to have all this information at my fingertips, except not even at my fingertips, because I just wanted to be able to look without even tapping anything. With the always on display, there was always something to capture my attention. So the most impactful thing I did was totally simplify my watch face. I'm going to throw up some of the simpler looking options that you have, at least on the Apple Watch, that I think are still pretty attractive. But as well as that, you can and should consider disabling the complications that are sort of scattered all over the face. You can do this on the watch itself or on your phone, but you can empty out those slots and not have anything displayed at all. So just to show you what I have today, I have my cat and the date. I really like it. The photo album shuffles through pictures of my cats, and I always know what date it is when I look down, just like if I was looking at my $10 Casio watch. Can't emphasize this enough. Simplify your watch face. Make your smartwatch less smart. Tip 2. This next tip is going to stop your watch from hijacking your attention all day. You're going to turn off almost all notifications. Now, my watch as a default was mirroring every notification that I got on my phone on my wrist. That's a lot of notifications. Now, certainly you can go into the watch app and just turn them all off one by one. And I did that for some of them, but for the first week or so that I was wearing the watch again, whenever I got a notification on the watch, I asked myself, do I ever want to get that notification again? The answer was almost always a resounding no. Example, my banking app telling me that I was about to be logged out. I don't need to be told that real time on my wrist. And you can tailor this to the experience that you want to have. Maybe you do want to get lots of notifications on your wrist, but it should be a decision that you're opting into, not a default you're just accepting without thinking about it. Make your expensive wristwatch less useful. Tip 3. This next change that I made kind of flew in the face of the whole reason that I got the Apple Watch in the first place. So it kind of hurt, but it was to turn off the activity rings. Stop getting notified if I'm not on track. Opt out of that notification at 50 minutes past the hour to stand up if I haven't in a while. I was in 2 minds about whether or not to do this for myself and whether or not to suggest it in this video, because for lots of people, the activity rings are a really positive thing. If they are supporting you in your health and fitness related goals, that's fantastic. But I was starting to feel a little bit harassed by them. So, worth considering. Stop having your attention stolen by big tech. Tip 4. This next tip partners up nicely with turning off unwanted notifications. And what I'm suggesting is that you look at all the apps that are installed on your watch and you delete them. So when you're on your main screen, I don't know about you, but mine is super cluttered. There are just so many apps on there. They're not terribly well organized. Realistically, I don't need 90% of them. I didn't realize that you can do this, but just like on your phone, if you hold down and do a hard press, the apps all start to shake, and the ones that you can uninstall have a little X on them. So you can choose to go through and uninstall them. I personally don't need the app that tells me information about the tides in my area. So I'm going to go and delete that. It's fewer things on your watch to distract you, and it just leaves you behind with, okay, the apps that Apple won't let you delete, and then ones that you actually want. So when you're on that main screen, you can hone in a lot more quickly on the app that you're looking for. Think weather and timers, not tides and memojis. Sorry, memojis. Dumb down your smartwatch tip 5. This last tip is more of a question, and it's just me encouraging you to sit down and ask yourself, what do I want from this device? And what do I need to have enabled to support those goals? Maybe tracking your sleep is really important for you right now. Use the sleep tracking features. Maybe you're trying to build a fitness habit right now, and so the activity rings are actually going to be super helpful. Maybe you absolutely cannot miss a notification from that one group chat of best friends from high school. Have that notification on. Maybe, like me, you need this. Whatever your goals are, the great thing about these devices is that they are so tailorable and customizable. But it's so important to remember that many of the default settings are not in your best interests. They're default, they're generic, they're not necessarily going to work for you. So hopefully I've convinced you that it's worth trying to dumb down your smartwatch. If you're going to give it a go, I'd love to hear in a comment what approach you're going to take. Give me your good ideas. And if you haven't seen it and you're curious, I'll put a link to my video here where I talk about giving up tracking in the first place. Just please don't tell Past Neil or anyone in the comments that I'm wearing my Apple Watch again. Bye!